If you have two case studies, this funnel will change your life. Top of the funnel ads, middle of the funnel conditioning sequence, bottom of the funnel conversion. This is what turned $2,309 into $9,425 cash collected and $25,287 revenue in just 15 days with just one of our clients. And the beautiful thing is that no one talks about it, and today I'm gonna break down every single step of the funnel and how you can just copy and paste that into your own high ticket business and see similar results. So let's talk about ads first, right? So how to get raw attention. And later in this video, we're gonna talk about why raw attention is just not enough and how we can actually use raw attention to create influence. Because look, if we're trying to sell something, right, that is 2, 5 or 10K, it's not just a coffee. We need to actually create influence over someone to successfully create the behaviors that we want to create to ultimately, of course, convert them and then give them the solution to their problem. So we're going to talk about how we can do that, but first, just getting the attention. So there are 4 types of ads that we run with this client, and let me break this down for you. So profile visit ads, by far the most efficient way to get a lot of leads. Of course, the problem here is that, okay, we're gonna get a ton of leads, but the quality is gonna be much lower, and we're gonna break down like an actual step-by-step what is gonna happen with those leads and how to utilize that so you can maximize the profits with your ad spend, which is incredibly important. Now, video DM and story ads. So those ones are really similar. So they are much more direct than the profile visit ad. The cost per lead right here will be much higher. So here you can have a cost per lead literally at like $2 a lead, and here it will be more like 30, 50, 100, depending on your niche, depending on the product that you're actually selling. And the last type of ad is a carousel ad. So it's much more leaning into the direction of logic when trying to convert someone than emotions, because those ads target emotions. This ad, I would say, targets the people that are actually like logical buyers that care about the actual step-by-step thing that will happen if they decide to take action. Okay, so let's talk about what actually happens. So there is lower intent and higher intent leads in the profile visit ads. So lower intent leads will either have a high watch time and no action, or an engagement on the post without a follow. And now, super important, most people will treat this type of lead as basically a wasted money. And this is actually far from true, because we can utilize that, what we're gonna talk about later, to actually create the 80% of the profit that is usually being left on the table with this approach. And the second one is engagement on the post without a follow. So what it basically means is that the lead really enjoyed your ad, but for some reason they didn't drop you a follow. And the reason is that your profile is just not optimized well. And you can check on the recent video that we're gonna pop out above my head right now. I covered how to optimize bio in great detail, so definitely check it out if you are getting a lot of those. Now with the higher intent leads, it's much different. So of course the ideal situation is that someone will drop you a follow, and of course then the setter reach out. Or someone even better, right? They will go to your profile, they will click link into your bio, they will watch the VSL that you have in your bio, or at least you should, and then they will drop you a follow. And then of course the setter reach out to you. With the more direct ads, this is much different. So a prospect DMs the keyword, then there's a ManyChat sequence, and I'm gonna show you in a second how you can actually do to convert much more people. And I'm not talking like 20% more, like literally 3 times more, okay? So this is really important. And actually they get a free asset at the end, and after that, the setter reach out. And let me show you that in ManyChat. So if someone messages the keyword, this is what actually happens. So we wait 5 minutes, then we send a message saying, yeah, I just had a minute between meetings, let me send that through for you. We wait 3 seconds, we send just a YouTube link for the VSL, and then we send a pre-recorded voice note. And why is it so important? Because literally 95% of people will create this ugly looking message that everyone knows is sent by ManyChat, and it literally decreases the open rate by like few times. And by doing this, instead of the second way, you can literally triple the amount of conversions, because then people will think, wow, this guy actually messaged me personally, right? I am not just another lead for him, I am actually a prospect that he thinks is worth his time. And the last one, the carousel ads. So it's literally the same, but the only difference that I like to keep in touch with them is because those leads usually are the highest quality, because those people are logical buyers. It means that if we actually get them to convert, this will be the ideal client. But it is harder usually to convert them because they are not emotionally attached to any of this. And that's why we record a personalized voice note to them. Literally a 3 to 5 minute voice note talking to them, mentioning their name a few times, so they have literally zero conviction that this is pre-recorded. Okay, so that's how you gather a lot of attention. And of course, you use those case studies to showcase proof, because in today's market, proof is much more important than the promise. And doing ads like that can literally change your life. So now let's talk about how to turn attention into influence, because ultimately, if we want to convert someone, we need to have influence over them. So let's talk about it. So of course, after all of those initial touch points, Seller reaches out to them, and the first thing that he tries to see is to see how warm the leads are. So sometimes people will reach out and they're literally ready to schedule a call and go for it. But sometimes people need more proof, they need more conviction, and that's totally okay. And that's why we call it a conditioning sequence. Because let me stop you here and let's think about it for a second. Someone literally didn't know us 30 minutes ago. They just, let's say, dropped us a follow. They maybe watched a 20-minute video on YouTube, and we expect them to get them on the call and take like $5,000 from them. Like, that's actually unreasonable to think. So that's why instead we need to literally condition them into believing that we have this solution, so they actually see the value. And that's why this is conditioning, because we literally take someone who is extremely cold, they would never trust us with a single dollar, and we give them the proof, we give them the free assets, we give them the value, so they actually see that we know what we are talking about and that we actually care of making a change in their life, and something that works incredibly well at this stage. So after the initial period, when they are already watched few of the pre-recorded, YouTube videos, organic videos, anything like that, we record a personalized voice note, or even better, a personalized Loom, giving them something incredibly valuable and super important here. The thing that you will give them here is literally something that they would pay for, and you give it for 100% free. And when it comes to the call to action at the end, there's two ways that you can go about it. The first way is literally asking them for an opinion about what you just sent to them. And the second one is literally saying that, yeah, and if you want more details about it, I can literally have like a quick chat with you and potentially help you out with this. And if that doesn't work for them, and trust me, like, this is such a power move, because no one in today's market cares about the prospect. Everyone is just chasing more money, better Stripe screenshots, and no one actually cares. If you show them that you actually care about them, and of course with that, you also just make them like you, right? Because they will see your personality, they will see how you are. You will gain so much advantage after every single competitor that you may have in your niche, that it is just incredible. And that's how you create influence. That's how people can pay you $8,000 just piff on the first call. This is how you can do that. And the best thing is just a beginning. So if they are not convinced after the personalized Loom, you have a few other things. So story sequences. So let me literally show you that right here on the Miro board with this client. And let me stop you here. This is a long game, okay? So it means that if you start doing this today, you will not see results the first week, the first month. How I like to think about it is that every single story is like 1%. Is this one brick out of 100 that you need to build this bridge so that a prospect can walk through it and actually be converted. Okay, and what to actually post there? So few types of stories. So nurturing sequences. So those are basically your thoughts, free value, breaking some misconceptions, some wrong beliefs about your space. Now the second one is resource sequences. So this is super simple. You literally create a sequence, and at the end you do a call to action to like a YouTube video. And the last one is hard conversion CTAs. So I would recommend doing them once every 1, maybe 2 weeks. And this is when you create the pain. And this is literally how you do it. So first you capture attention. E-com is saturated. That's what people who are already losing say. Meanwhile, my students constantly make from around 10 to 100K month profit with this formula. Then you expand on this idea. So this right here, you break the mechanism, you show them the value, the behind the scenes. And after that, a lot of proof. And even more proof right here. And at the end, a call to action. So this is how you can think about it. Capture attention, show proof, convert. That's literally it. And trust me, if someone sees 100 of those stories, they will convert. And the last step is, of course, just staying in touch. So after this, of course, some people will not convert. But when they see your story every single day, when they see your new free assets, when maybe sometimes you reach out to them with a personalized voice note, they will finally convert. And now, as I said at the beginning, with some people you don't need all of this work, right? With some people you literally just need them to watch the VSL, have a quick chat, book them in, and literally convert them and get cash. And this way of thinking, so all of those lines right here, this is what 99% of the businesses make. This is the 20%. This is the 20% of the highest intent leads, right? The ones that have the most pain and they just need this solution. But what about the other 80, right? What about all of this money that is being left here in all of those steps? How you can actually convert it? Let me tell you that. So you take all of those people, the people that just watched the ad, the people that didn't take the action, the people that you've been speaking to for literally weeks and weeks. You create a custom audience when you pick all of those aspects. And let me literally show you that. You just go to audiences. And as you can see, I already have them. So literally you create a new audience here, custom audience. You go Instagram account. And then you pick people who start following, people who engage, and you create the custom audiences for 180 days. You just name it. And then you create a retargeting campaign with direct DM ads. And the most important here is that you have literally anywhere from 10 to 40 ad creatives. So this is a huge number of ad creatives. But a good thing is that you only need 40 different hooks because the body of the ad and the call to action can be literally the same. But with the hooks, you target different pain points, misconceptions, and all other things that can be stopping those leads from actually getting on a call with you. And you do a direct call to action. And this is how you book them, right? This is how you take all of this influence that you've been creating with those people and you actually convert it, right? So you get this nice 80%. 80% of the people that otherwise would just get lost and you wouldn't make a single dime with them. And if you want to make it even better, what do? You create few different pre-call sequences. What it means is that based on the conversation with those people, you will see that some of them just need more trust. Maybe some of them need more logic. Some of them need more emotion. You will have different types of leads coming through and you create different pre-call sequences. So you create few other VSLs, one targeting trust, one targeting logic. You of course create different email sequences when you give free assets also based on this. And this is how you close them, right? And ultimately, this is how you create the alpha in this market. Because as I said, most people will just take this 20% of the people that could have been converted. And the best part, let's say that someone actually is not close, right? But you had a call with them and it was just this close to actually converting them. What do you do with them? The answer is pretty simple. You record a post-call VSL. And in this VSL, you talk about their pain. Then you talk about what you actually covered on the call. You give them some free resource that is attached to the pain and you do some light call to action. So you say, of course, no pressure, but if you want to revisit the conversation, I have literally a slot open next Friday and we can do that. But if not, it's all good. And if they don't want to schedule a call right away with you, and trust me, like literally 10% of those people will straight up schedule a follow-up call that will end up with you closing them. But the 90%, okay, fair enough, they will not schedule a follow-up call with you. And what do? You of course take them and you put them into the conditioning sequence once again. And maybe after a month, you do a personalized voice note and you ask them, is the problem gone, right? And of course they will tell you no, like nothing changed. And you revisit the conversation. And because the month passed, they saw 30 different story sequences talking about what you are doing with your clients, how you are fixing their problems literally every single day. And then you book them in and you make even more money. And by doing all of this right here, this is how we turned $2,309 into $25,000 revenue in 15 days using those two case studies. And you can literally do the same. So I hope it helps.